So welcome back here to Wembley Lacrosse Club for the ALA's Women and Men's National Senior Championships for our second game of the day between New South Wales, Queensland and the President's side. We hope you all enjoyed the first game of the day with Victoria just running out winners against WA in an absolutely cracking women's game to set up a fantastic rest of the week. So both of these teams coming off yesterday's games, we had the Presidents going down 5-25 in against Victoria, and we had Queensland, New South Wales going down 3-21 against WA. So should be, based on that, a fairly even game with the scoring as it is. So the team sheets for the Queensland, New South Wales Women's Lacrosse State team. Going through their goal scorers yesterday in the game were Annabelle Williams with 2 goals and Claire Stewart-Hunter getting on the board with 1. Obviously, the girls coming down playing New South Wales and Queensland. A lot of New South Wales players in this side, and we look forward to seeing what they bring today. And hopefully the goals will flow quite quickly here. We may just pop down in a minute to have an interview with the head coach of the women's New South Wales Queensland team. But the President's Senior Women's State team, as you can see there on your screen, that team, as I said, went down 5-25 against Victoria, but given what I saw earlier between Victoria and WA, those scores were fairly good. The goal scorers yesterday for the Presidents, we had 2 goals from Erin Mitchell and 1 goal from Lizzie Crouch. So we're looking forward to seeing what both of these teams bring. We also had goals yesterday to Shannon Mitchell, and getting on the board for was Brianna Curran-Turner. So we're just about to get this game in the midst of going. It is still a beautiful day here at the Wembley Lacrosse Club in their 80th anniversary of the Wembley Lacrosse Club. And we're going to flick down now to Linton Arscott. Linton Arscott, number 1, thank you for commentating the last game, a fantastic game. What are you expecting today? Obviously, both scores yesterday were quite low against the 2 teams, so you should be looking forward to a good game with your girls today.
Yeah, I'm looking for a sort of a positive and probably getting a win for the girls. You know, a bit more experience playing yesterday and a good win today. I think it's going to help them with a win today, and I think we'll get over the line.
Players to watch in your side today?
Number 18, Beck Punter, and number 21, Annabelle Wills. 2 young guns that all they do is just run and play hard defence and score pretty well.
And who are you locking down on the President's team?
I don't. No, we're not going to lock down on anyone, mate. We're just going to concentrate on playing our game and just taking it from there.
Fantastic round of lacrosse. I'll let you get to the girls. They're just about to walk out. Linton Arscott, thank you very much, and good luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
So as the game's just about to commence here, we have Amelia Pemberton, the captain for New South Wales, Queensland, taking the face. And as Linton said then, the New South Wales, Queensland will be looking to get on the board early. As the whistle blows, up in the air, and New South Wales, Queensland with the ball initially to start, with Amelia Pemberton, who kicks it across to Annabelle Williams. Annabelle Williams just assessing the situation down there, gives it to Emma Agnew. And WA pushing out, oh sorry, the President's pushing out, apologies, they are in a WA strip. So the President's pushing out here, kicking it down to X. Kicks it around to Britt Faulkner. Britt Faulkner liking what she sees in there. Britt Faulkner going towards the goals. First shot. And Britt Faulkner will take a free shot here for New South Wales, Queensland to put them with an opportunity to put them on the board in the first minute of play. So Britt Faulkner with the ball. Goalie is ready. looks across to the captain, looks inside, and a shot high, and a fantastic start for New South Wales, Queensland. Amelia Pemberton with the goal there. Good look from Britt Faulkner, who obviously realised where her matchup was there, and in the first minute and a half of this game, New South Wales, Queensland go out to a 1-0 lead, and as I said, Amelia Pemberton with the goal there. The captain, as I've mentioned, for New South Wales, Queensland. And Lippy Arscott will be very happy with the start with his girls there, with the ball out of the centre. Pemberton back in the middle now. Whistle blows to the draw. Pemberton with the win, but the President's picking up the ball here. Bailey Eastman with the ball. Sorry, Bailey Eastman passing the ball off there to Emma Graham. Emma Graham just fumbling. New South Wales, Queensland bringing the ball in. Britt Faulkner with the ball now. President's team with the defence, and she just brings it down to X. And Emma Agnew with the ball at X. New South Wales, Queensland looking to set something up here. Giving that nice little cut inside there by Claire Stewart Hunter. Obviously was a goal scorer yesterday. So ball kicks up the top. A little flick. Annabelle Williams with the ball. Likes driving down the left-hand side. We've got in the shooting space there. So Annabelle Williams will take the ball. Olivia Wills just encroaching in that one, and New South Wales, Queensland will be looking to get another shot on the keeper here. Just pulls it out to settle. Good work there by the President's team just to get in that shooting space and crash, as we have a great run through the middle there. Great save there by the goalie, down low. Fantastic effort. Big clear down the field. Ground ball to be won here. And there we go, Skylar Levy with the ball, just getting a check. So she will take possession of the ball. Skylar, the daughter of Gav Levy, who was the Australian Under-19 assistant coach in the last Under-19 men's team. And Skylar's been doing really well in those junior tournaments. A great shot there, as we just mentioned her name. And Skylar Levy just putting that one over the post, but a great little cut, great little feed inside. And a great start from the Presidents here in their offense, getting their first shot away. So it's brought in. Levy at the back. Presidents sending cutters around. Emma Green with the ball now. Being well guarded. Unfortunately. Just encroaching there. So the Presidents will have control of the ball in the stick of Emma Green. So Emma Green with the ball here. Obviously there's a game going on the other side. Emma Green just looking inside. Good body, good stick. And we have the Presidents with the ball, kicking it down here to Emma Graham. Emma Graham with space. Just trying to drive through. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic check there from New South Wales, Queensland team member Annabelle Williams. But a good ground ball there. And the waves parted right there with that ground ball. Fantastic pickup from Emma Graham. Emma Graham kicking it out to Levy, who kicks it back. Kicking it back to Lizzie Crouch now. Goal scorer yesterday. Some work being done here, running down the side, getting inside. Nothing on offer there. Good work by New South Wales, Queensland to hold up that foray forward. The Presidents just assessing what they're doing here. As they get past the player, gets past one player, the whistle goes, obviously in a shooting space. The Presidents now lining up with a free shot. Keeper looking at her first shot of the game, and that's just tipped off a stick, I believe. And that should go to a New South Wales Queensland, and a great back up there for New South Wales Queensland. And they will take the ball down in the bottom corner through their captain, Amelia Pemberton. And Amelia Pemberton just sucked it down, but good pressure there from the Presidents team. We've got Emma Agnew breaking down the field here. She's got an opportunity here and should just pull it out and settle down. As we have Britt Faulkner heading towards the cage. Someone opening up right in the middle there. Still, but a great little cut through the centre there by Claire Stewart-Hunter. Wanting to get on the board for her first, and a fantastic little cut. So Rebecca Putner, with the ball. Just passing it up. And New South Wales Queensland will retain the ball through Annabelle Williams. She's a big down the left-hand line here if she goes hard. And a great check from behind. Didn't hear the footsteps coming. And the turnover here. So a little bit scrappy, as you'd expect in the first start of the game, where everyone's just starting to get their mojo on. And I think we've got one here playing without a stick. So the Presidents will take the ball, and with the quick whistle, off they go. So Presidents B. Cameron with the ball there, passing it over. Ground ball to be won here. I think we've got a push there. And Shannon Mitchell with the ball. Kicks it down. Likes what she sees on her opponent. And there's a flag being thrown here. So Erin Mitchell there. Erin Mitchell there just dropping the ball and coming out to a shooting spot. So New South Wales, Queensland just lining their defence up for this shot from Erin Mitchell, or potential shot running into the cage. Erin not seeing the cage. Oh, nice look inside there, and a nice bit of defence from New South Wales Queensland there to stop Shannon Mitchell getting on cage. Looks inside, shot there, and a fantastic little feed into Emma Green. And Emma Green with her first of the game. Referee's just checking that stick, and that is all clear. So Emma Green with her first of the game, and New South Wales, Queensland even it up at 1 goal all in this first quarter. So a nice, beautiful little inside look there for that feed for Green. And Green having no troubles with taking that ball and putting it away. As we said, we think this is going to be a pretty even contest across the board with the scores yesterday, given the fact that the Victoria and WA played out the game they did today with only 1 goal or 2 goals separating these two teams, and the Presidents obviously being on the higher side of that against Victoria. We expect this game to be very close, and it's shaping up that way already as the Presidents bring the ball out through Megan Moser. Kicking it down there to Mitchell. That's Shannon Mitchell, who kicks it behind here. Looking inside, another great little feed to Mitchell there. Mitchell with a great cut through there. And the Presidents pick the ball up and pop the other side here. And we've got a whistle here for 3 seconds, I believe. So the referee's just sorting this out. No, I don't actually have that number on my score sheet, but I think that Steph Hallows didn't have a number yesterday, so hopefully she's picking up 35. And if I'm wrong with that, I apologise. But the Presidents will bring the ball in through Levy. He kicks it to Mitchell. Mitchell with the motors on here, liking what she sees, and the no-look pass not so good, which will give New South Wales Queensland the opportunity to bring it into offence. Just a bit of a no-look pass there and didn't hit her mark, so New South Wales Queensland will bring the ball out through Carolyn McCluckey, who kicks it up. Oh, great work there. And we may have an offside here, or no, the ball's actually gone out of bounds off the WA defender, who was sorry, the President's defender, who was going hard in B. Cameron. So we've got Britt Faulkner with the ball now, who's been doing a great job in offence. Just throws it in the middle of the field, and that's not a great pass in any sport, back into the middle of the field. I'll say that's Steph. If I've got that wrong later, I apologise, but I don't have that number on my score sheet. Who kicks it around, and Skylar with a bit of work to do with the ground ball. Skylar looking up the top, finding Mitchell. Shannon Mitchell looks inside. Oh, and a little bit higher on that one. And we've got a yellow card here, I believe, on Erin Mitchell that time, the Mitchell sisters. So Erin Mitchell will line up here and look at coming in for a goal. New South Wales Queensland defended this really well last time. Looks inside, and just putting the ball wide there was her sister, Shannon Mitchell. The sisters looking for each other there, being brought in by the Presidents here. Gives it up to Steph Hallows. Steph gets through and puts it in the top right-hand corner. And we've got a timeout being called here as that goal goes in. And we've also got another yellow card here to New South Wales, Queensland. Yes, there's been another yellow card shown for a high contact for the New South Wales Queensland's women's team on Rebecca Proudman. So they now have 2 in the box, and we have the Presidents leading 2-0, and Steph Hallows, I believe, with that one, as we welcome the dulcet tones of Mr. Tim Kennedy.
Ring-a-ding-ding, Tone. Thanks for having me, mate. Good to be back.
Yes, mate.
Been an exciting day, I missed, hasn't it?
Been an exciting day. A fantastic game in that first Victoria-WA game, and Victoria getting out to a big lead. WA looking like they were well and done, and all of a sudden they found the switch.
Yeah, I must admit, I was, of course, wearing the stripes on the ground too, doing my best to mess up a game of lacrosse, as us referees get accused of frequently. And I saw it at 15-7, thought the game was all said and done, and then
well, I'm not going to.
Australia came flying back, didn't they?
I'm not going to lie. We up here were thinking that unless there's a spark, it's going to blow out immensely. And what it turned out to be was an absolutely fantastic game. Not so much on the other side there. It was a 19-0, I believe.
Yeah, SA, for those just tuning in, SA, of course, running out 19-0 winners against the East Coast Allstars. The Allstars fought pretty hard all day. It really held South Australia, particularly through the second and third corners, but Nigel Morton was just ridiculous. He finished with 9 goals out of the 19 for South Australia, just indicating how ripe he is for Israel, of course, the Australian captain from Glenelg. Yeah,
look, he's been getting plenty of shots in state league level. He's been shooting at about 0.003% there, so obviously he's just tightened it up for the target going towards Israel.
He probably doesn't get much practice. I heard the goalkeeping at Glenelg's a bit lacklustre. So
yeah, it is. It's there's a little fella there by the name of Cody Watts who likes to say that he lights him up all the time from about a metre, I may add. And he did give him one the last training night from fairly close and got him fair square in the thigh, so Cody was really happy with that.
Cody would have been thrilled, but I'm excited for this game, though. I was looking forward to it. I mean, obviously the withdrawal of South Australia was disappointing, but that said, it's provided a tremendous opportunity for the side in black. That isn't Western Australia, if you're just tuning in. That's obviously the ALA President's side, and, you know, they're made up of some experienced players, but a lot of under-19s who are trying out for the Aussie squad next year.
Yeah, so Savannah Duncan just with the ball there. Great outlet to the captain in
Amelia Pemberton.
Amelia Pemberton, and she's done a fair bit of work so far in this game.
Yeah, she was good for them yesterday. Really gave them some drive through the midfield against Western Australia.
And just this one back into the middle. And that one worked, but there's been a couple where they've gone back into that centre corridor. And like most sports, if you go through a centre corridor and get it wrong, it comes back with a lot of interest. And we saw that in the first game. When Victoria were under the pump, they seemed to come back into the middle. And they got picked off, and it went back the other way.
It needs to be perfect pass, doesn't it? I mean, you get belted at training as a junior player that you're going to want to make sure you stick that pass, because if you turn it over, it does come back very, very quickly.
Yeah, I said earlier in this game that given the results that were yesterday and given the result that was today, this should be a really even contest. And the way it's at the moment, although Pemberton likes this from top, and there's a flag there, we've got an advantage. Might be for a...
I think there's a bit of a push there.
I thought that was a push. Signalling high, but...
we'll see, we'll see.
You know, maybe if it was me out there signalling high, that would have got me above at 5 foot nothing.
Well, make sure you tune in, guys. Obviously, let us know what you think of the call. Send us some messages on our Facebook page. We do try and read them when we can.
Pemberton lining up for a shot here. Doesn't want to take it. Just kicks it out the back. Thinks there's a better option here. Coach is yelling to settle. Little Arscott down there, I can hear him. I've heard him all day and might have just stepped out of bounds there. Just sometimes that back line comes up on you very quickly.
Well, I must admit, there's no excuse for it here, because we are playing on the unified field, so you'll see a lot of stripes across there, and that's a unified field. So it is an extra. It is a little bit bigger. The women should be used to it though. But you're right, Tony. It does sneak up on you. It's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, I must say I don't think I've ever got that far out the back though, mate. I'm normally only a metre from the crease. So as we have here. The President's bringing it into attack and looking to work, and there's a great inside cut there and a fantastic finish there. Absolutely fantastic finish from Erin Mitchell.
Mitchell's a real superstar for Western Australia, Tone. She was an all-star at the under-18 tournament that just happened over in Glenelg. She is having a very, very good year. I think she's transferred over to Subiaco. She's a Wembley girl, so she'll know this ground well. But she's transferred to Subiaco to get some more experience, and a real one to watch for Western Australia and potentially Australia.
Yeah, well, look, she's done a great couple of times. There's been a couple of cuts from Erin through the centre there, and she's really becoming a beacon in this President's team that they're looking for her all the time. So she gets on the board for the first one today, as the Presidents get the ball out the centre again, and bringing it in is Isla Fraser, who kicks it down. They like what they see, but great defence there from New South Wales, Queensland. As she kicks it out to Isla Fraser again, and we've just got a...
Fraser, another one of these youngsters coming through. She's from Bayswater Lacrosse Club. Another one of these youngsters in contention with the U19s. Had a good tournament this year again as well over in Glenelg.
Yeah, there's a few of these under-18s playing through this at the moment.
Yeah.
And, there was really good competition this year over in Glenelg.
Oh, it was a thrilling grand final, and we've still got that up on our YouTube page and our Facebook page. Of course, Vic, a real up-and-down game. You were there, Tone.
I was.
It was ebbed and flowed fantastically. Of course, Victoria taking the chocolates on that one, ending WA's two-year run at the top. But thrilling game, of course, and a number of those girls out here today.
So Savannah Duncan making a great save there. Just... bit of an inherent clearing pass, and it's popped it out of bounds. And the Presidents will bring the ball back into offence.
Duncan's not a bad goalkeeper. She was one of our breakout players in February. She's from the US, came over to New South Wales, and she's a real good get for the Wombats. She was really good for them in their little competition over there in Sydney, and a really good find. She'll have a bit of work to do here, though.
Yes. So Haroldson just lining up here. Looking in, lefty, and just puts it down by her feet. So Haroldson on the board. And we just get the score blossoming out to a 4-goal to 1-goal lead. Presidents over New South Wales, Queensland.
They're getting away a little bit here at the moment, aren't they? They seem to be really dominating through the middle of the ground at the moment, getting a lot of ball, as you can see on the free position shot. Just a good finish there. Duncan went down and read it well, but just couldn't get enough coverage on that. And look, and there's not much the goalies can do on that situation there with such an open run at the cage.
I said it many times, I think, in the first game. It is the unfairest thing I've ever seen. It's like a penalty shot in a game of the football stuff. Which is obviously coming up very soon too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking forward to... We love our Australian sport, obviously. So it'd be good to see the boys do well over there in Russia.
Yes, the Socceroos.
And we've got one here for a push, I believe. So Linton Arscott will be looking for his New South Wales Queensland team just to get some scoreboard pressure back here.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they got out really well, and they've just the President's team's just started to take it away.
Yeah, Kate Churchwood hasn't been put under a lot of pressure since I've come along anyway. She is a very good goalkeeper, plays for Subiaco. Hasn't been put. You need to get good shots on a good goalkeeper, and they don't seem to have had enough possession of the ball, let alone good shots.
It's good to see though, because across the men's and women's teams, there's a lot of good young goalies coming through this competition.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you start at the top on the women's side. As I say, you've got Kate Churchwood here for the Presidents, and you've got Savannah Duncan down at the other end for the East Coast, two very good young goalkeepers. And then, of course, look no further than the Killer Bees in the women's WA Victoria, the two Aussie goalkeepers, Buzzy Hinks and Bree Hussey. But they probably wouldn't be too thrilled, you know, having 31 goals put through them earlier today. But
no, it was, that one nearly tips off and heads in, but great backup. But we've got a whistle here. Yeah, look, both goalies played really well in that first game.
Yeah.
And, they had plenty of saves, and I thought at one point Bree Hussey was well on top, but then Buzzy came back and did her thing, and just not enough saves in the end. But a fantastic game of women's lacrosse, and really great that the ALN is bringing these games to you to see the quality that is happening through this national competition at the moment.
Absolutely, and we are, of course, very lucky to have the Northern TAFE down here today, as you can see, assisting us with our coverage. Can't speak highly enough of the job that they're doing here today, so we do hope you're enjoying the coverage. Make sure you share it live, get it out there for us. It's Australian lacrosse, and it's live, and it's free. Can't get much better than that, does it, Tony?
Free is the best currency in the world. And we've got the Presidents just rolling down the field with Emma Green.
Another one of our breakout stars, Emma Green, plays for the Bayswater Lacrosse Club. Very good player.
Already on the board. So as we see, just going through, good little check there. Fantastic check and pick up. Rebecca Putner.
She was the MVP yesterday in the Western Australian loss. Had a very good day out from New South Wales.
So we've got a whistle being blown here again. And it's been turned over to the Presidents. So the Presidents through Green will potentially run onto Cage here.
This is a big opportunity here.
Clock's on with 2 seconds to go. Need a shot. Oh, sorry, more than 2 seconds to go.
We were just building up the anticipation there, weren't we?
I was trying that. That was my little bit of poetic license right there. And I hope the audience got the feel of it. 2 seconds to go, coming in the Cage. Should have been a shot. Just rolled out. Great defence from New South Wales, Queensland to stop that foray forward. But they see themselves on the back end of a 4-1 deficit at the moment at the end of the first quarter. Yeah,
the Presidents really got ahead there, didn't they, as that quarter sort of rolled on. They got themselves into a really good position. Dominating possession, of course, if you dominate possession, there's not a hell of a lot that the East Coast could do. Look, President's side is young, but they are talented. And look, the East Coast have some very, very good players, and I think they're not the start that they would have been hoping for, but there's certainly plenty of time left in this game for them to get back to it. I think it's going to start in the middle. I think we need to see Annabelle Williams sort of starting to insert herself more into the game. Amelia Pemberton getting in the game as well a little bit more. But as we're just looking at the President's side here now.
And here's some highlights from the first quarter. Pemberton there, putting the first one away.
Yeah, she had a really good game yesterday. Got a good finish, good step on her.
Good pace.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just the ability there to create some shots. Is what
this was a really good cut and a fantastic finish there from Erin Mitchell. Little pop up and down.
Yeah, another good finish. Another good finish there, and it's just good defence again. Great chasing.
But there's good pressure across the ground at the moment, and while the ball's going up and back a bit basketball style, it's certainly there's some good pressure on both teams to stop that ball sort of getting deep into the offensive ends.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Look, and Shannon Mitchell there was number 4 for the Presidents. She had another good game yesterday for Western Australia. Of course, the Mitchell sisters are two of the real drivers of this team, number 4 and number 17. Had 3 goals between them yesterday in their 25-5 loss against Victoria. But they'll be a lot richer for this experience. And so far, look, they would be very, very... Coach Doc Banyard, and I think Beck Banyard's down there as well. This side, of course, thrown together quite late in the piece. I think they'd be pretty pleased with what they saw there in that first quarter.
Yeah, as you say, it's a pity that SA didn't get a team up to come over.
Yeah,
obviously, for whatever reasons.
Yep.
That they didn't feel like they had the depth that they could.
Yeah, we put up a post
over.
about that, and I do thank Tim Dixon over there in South Australia for taking the time. There was obviously a lot of questions being asked, particularly over here in WA, as to why there wasn't that side that was coming over. And look, you know, if you don't have the players, you don't have the players, and it's certainly no small impost flying all the way over here and crossing the Nullarbor. So we're not ignorant to that fact, and it is a real shame, particularly with the strength of the South Australian competition this year. It's an absolutely thrilling competition. I mean, you've got 5 sides out of the 6 that seem to be able to win it at the moment. Wilderness inserting themselves into that mix late as East Coast get things underway for us.
Bring it down, and Linton Arscott will be really glad to have the ball in his offensive end and hopefully get one away here. So a little bit of a drive, looks in front, fantastic feed across the front there, and
that's a terrific finish, isn't it?
A great little finish there
by Rebecca Taylor.
So. And the umpires just doing what they do well.
Yeah, of course. Just they randomly check sticks in the women's game, and that's important. I'm glad that we don't do it in the men's game. You could imagine how much fun that would be. But it is one of the nuances here of the women's game. Of course, very different to the men's game. But that's just probably exactly what the doctor ordered, wasn't it?
That is exactly what the doctor ordered. They will be very happy to have that one in the back of the net.
Oh, absolutely.
And obviously, Rebecca's first goal for the day.
Gets them underway,
and we're back to a 4-2 game early in the second.
Good to see people tuning in. If you're tuning in, make sure you let us know where you're watching from. Jump in, comment, let us know what you like, what you don't like. Just thrilled to have you joining us for today's game.
As the Presidents pick up the ground ball there, and a great little knockdown there by New South Wales, Queensland. Pemberton in there fighting hard. Here's the goal scorer, Taylor, with the last one. Just beating off her opponent. We've got one down bottom high, looking across, and a great little push up into the foray there, and a nice little finish on the backside, or on the front side, I should say.
Yeah, Claire Stewart-Hunter, she hit the scoreboard yesterday as well in their loss to Western Australia for the East Coast All-Stars, but yeah, that's just good fundamental lacrosse, isn't it? Draw the player, dump to the open player on the inside, and a really good finish there from Stewart-Hunter as the margin is cut back to 1.
Just like the first game.
Yeah, it looks like we
got out to a bit of a break.
Big good
game.
Got
back to even at 4-all at the first quarter.
No, look, I've got to thank the ALA for this because, I mean, these games were obviously scheduled to go. We were supposed to have the men's games today, but it was a really good slate today for the women. So we've switched the games around today so we could make sure we get coverage. And, of course, we'll be bringing you the men's doubleheader tomorrow, starting off with Western Australia taking on South Australia, which could be a really important game. As you can see over on ground 2, we've got Victoria and WA currently in action, and it's Victoria leading, Western Australia leading by the score of 4-2 over there.
Okay, so
which will keep things really interesting in the men's side.
That will keep it very interesting for the SA WA game tomorrow.
Well, yeah, even if WA upset Victoria, then I don't see them getting out by more than 7. Which was, of course, the margin yesterday, which would still have WA vulnerable to being eliminated from the competition. So you'd still mean tomorrow is definitely on.
Obviously, South Australia, if that score stays the similar way, just needing to win, obviously, but then obviously it comes to goal percentage.
It'll come down to margin, yeah, absolutely. So they're going to need to win and win well, but that's the issues with the smaller tournament is really good defence there as the ball's kicked back to Churchwood.
Churchwood looking up, great outlet, great pass up the field.
That's Wills with the ball. She's certainly a name to watch.
Good movement down the field here. And New South Wales, Queensland just rushing back to get into that defensive end.
Brianna Curran-Turner comes from a very good pedigree of player down at the East Fremantle Lacrosse Club. Mitchell with the ball.
Mitchell with the ball. Now, I said this before, I think that was Steph Hallows wearing 35. I didn't actually have a number down here, but I've gone with it because there was a dash there.
Yeah, well, look at that.
And I will apologise after if it wasn't.
No, there's definitely, no, that's 35.
Oh, there you
definitely
go, look
right.
at that.
I can confirm that. What would you do without
a little inside. Yeah, no, I made it up on the spot when I didn't see it, and I was 100% correct, so I should never doubt myself. Especially when she scored in the first quarter.
Duncan with the ball.
Just assessing options.
Yeah, a bit of movement as Mitchell looks to try and cause the turnover, and she almost does.
Another one up here, a quick pass up. And there she has space in the middle now. If she gets the ball, control of the ball. And running it into offense with a single-handed carry down low. Should have looked forward there. Had a player open who was in a shooting position, but just decides to settle it down rather than throw it away. Got a push here.
Going to be another opportunity here for the East Coast. She's not going to have a shot here, Britt Faulkner. But if she can draw and dump on the presidential defenders.
Well, we've got two behind here.
Yeah.
So this one here around the corner, and obviously with the lefty who looked inside. Great pass inside, but we've drawn a flag there. Although she got a half shot away by fantastic, good defence.
Well, that's Annabelle Williams coming around the corner and creating there for Putner.
And here's this one on the cage.
Yeah, here we go again. Big opportunity here for Churchwood to send a message to the Australian selectors, and reads it fantastically.
Great read. So there we go, just kicking it out the back.
And good work from the president defenders as well. You can see they closed the gap on Putner there and made her feel like she had to shoot that ball from a little bit further out than she would have been more comfortable with. So getting a really good look on the shot for Churchwood really helped her out a lot.
Sometimes that perceived pressure just puts enough in your head, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does, yeah.
And it allowed the goalie to sort of resettle, but a really good save down low there. New South Wales, Queensland, just settle it around. I'll get my words right in a minute.
Well, we are hopeful we're going to be able to get Hannah Brown up shortly. Hannah Brown is one of the West Australian superstars. She's going to be down, joining us very shortly from the broadcast wing. So she's down and she can hear us by the looks of it. Give us a wave if you can hear us, Hannah. She can hear us. So,
hey, boys.
Hey, so what are you seeing down there at ground level?
Well, I'm seeing there's a lot of they're spreading out quite well on the ride for WA. I think they need to look for, sorry, not for WA. They're in their jerseys.
You play for WA, Hannah.
That's right. For the President's team, they're spreading out quite well. But I think you're seeing the East Coast All-Stars have learned a little bit from their game yesterday, and they're starting to use each other more and crash on the cage when they're in defense, and that's helping them out a lot. But let's see how this transition goes. Their passing has gotten really crisp.
Yeah, Mitchell's got herself into the open space here. She's got a real opportunity. Turns on the jet, skips the shot, puts it past Duncan.
Beautiful quarter fake to get that through and fake the goalie.
Gee, she's got some jets, doesn't she?
So her and her sister.
Mitchell with the second. And how did you pull up after that last game? It was quite a tough tussle in the end?
Yeah, it was. It was very physical and a lot of up and back running with the transition, of course. But we had our hydro. That's why I was a little bit late to the commentating booth today. It's necessary, but looking forward to getting back out there tomorrow.
Yeah, look, a fantastic game that last game, and really great to commentate, and the way WA came back was a credit. So we look forward to potentially seeing that in the final on Sunday.
Well, we prepared for that. Our coaches pull us up, and that's what we've been working for, to bring us to that final, and we'd love to get another crack at Victoria.
Well, we're looking at a 5-3 scoreline here, Tony. It's a pretty important goal there from Mitchell, just to try and re-establish that buffer a little bit.
Yeah, Mitchell doing a fair bit of work for the President's team. And as we have face-off here, whistle blows. Plenty of height, unlike your flags today, Timmy.
Yeah, I know. They were a little bit weak today, weren't they?
Well, how many did you throw today?
Oh, none. Not a single penalty today.
And that's why I said you had no height in it.
No, exactly right.
I didn't hear that.
No, I was very, very quiet today.
If you don't throw them, we can never see.
No impact on the game.
The ball goes out of bounds here, so it'll be a New South Wales Queensland ball.
We'll see how they close off on this ride.
It's been a real strength of them today, hasn't it, Hannah?
Yeah. The passing has been so crucial, both the earlier game and it seems to be in this game as well, to break those rides. Everyone's lifted their game.
Steps inside, shoots low.
Oh, great shot. Just kisses the pipe on the inside. That was a fantastic finish.
Very pretty.
It was gorgeous. That's what we wish we had Snicko there. That's Emma Agnew here. I believe that's her first goal of the game, Tony?
That is her first goal of the game today, and it just brings a little bit closer.
1-goal game.
Back to a 1-goal game. Oh, I love this exciting lacrosse.
You can see the centers stamping down the middle. It's quite a hole there.
It's going to make for an interesting game with the men's tomorrow, just to dig that hole a little bit deeper.
And then we'll see the finals, how we cope with it on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'd get lost in it.
Well, it must have been the ground's held up pretty well. Just the coldest day in Perth in 6 years greeted everybody yesterday. And but the ground has held up remarkably well given the amount of rain we've had.
Yeah, there was normally WA has that rain and then it disappears and out it comes. But it certainly came down fairly heavily, and I heard it was there was sort of 50 or 60 mil in some places yesterday.
Oh yeah, and it's not going to be much better on the weekend, which will definitely present its challenges for the team. So much for a home ground advantage for Western Australia. Probably a little bit more attuned for South Australia and Victoria. It's just a score update over on ground 2. Western Australia's margin's been cut to 1. Western Australia leading Victoria 4-3 on ground 2 in the men's draw.
As we see the ball staying with the Presidents here. And Isla with the ball.
What's going on down there, Hannah?
Well, if you saw Isla's game yesterday, she had an incredible game. She got a draw off Rachel Kirchheimer, and she's finished it today.
That is fantastic. That's another good finish there. They're really making good use of the deck. And I said this yesterday during rehearsals, a nice little facet of the women's game that I really enjoy is Savannah Duncan taking the ball out of the net and handing it back to the referee. No cheek there. It's fantastic.
Good sportsmanship.
Very good sportsmanship. The men can certainly learn a thing or two.
But a great finish there.
Yeah, no, she definitely made it stick. She is definitely a very good young up-and-comer for Bayswater.
She's grown so much, and she's taking on a lot of leadership in Bayswater as well.
Yeah, it's
in club play.
And they've returned to state league in their own right this year, haven't they, Hannah?
They have. It's great to see them field a full team, and the scoreline doesn't show it as much as it could, but it's a big fight there every time we play.
As face-off starts.
Of course, there is a bit of a change this year for those who are tuning in or haven't watched for the last year or two. Of course, big change insofar as the draws, less players around the circle, probably implementing more of the men's rules there with the restraining line really kicking in, keeping players away. How have you found that rule change, Hannah?
I personally loved it. It's so much cleaner in the middle, less collisions, less stick checks. The umpires can see it clearer, so there's less frustration from the players as well. So when there is an empty, you can see who it was, you can see what happened. But I've really enjoyed it. It's bringing it through. It did take a few games to get used to, though.
Of course, a lot of those rule changes being made with Olympic inclusion in mind. As the East Coast All-Stars just kicking the ball around a little bit, getting everybody a touch.
Kicking it to Williams here on this left-hand side, who steps in and up high. Great save.
Probably needed to come around, at least try and change the angle of her shot a little bit there. She's come around the corner and sort of telegraphed she was going high. And the key there is Churchwood didn't have to move her stick at all. Had a great step, had some room to sort of drop the channel a bit and maybe put it around Churchwood perhaps and make it work a little bit for that save.
If you come around that corner, you really want to drop your plane on that. Just
Absolutely.
to make the goalie have to move, and even if you pop back up there, just to get that bite. And a pretty easy save at the end there. A good save on coming around the right-hand side, but certainly had that level.
Skylar Levy looking to push around the corner for the Presidents. Keep saying Western Australia.
Nice little look.
Beautiful shooting.
Nice little look in. That was really good. Skylar drew the defenders there and kicked it up, and obviously in the shooting space. And we will probably have a shot on cage here, I'd say.
Yeah, Harrelson's been good from these positions. She managed to snag a goal earlier with a really clinical finish, and I expect this one to probably skim off the deck again if she can get it off.
Right through.
She got a great piece on that.
Great piece on that, but unfortunately, when it goes past the line.
Just checking the stick, make sure it's all good.
Full movement.
There we go. So Heraldson with her second of the day.
And they've negated the good work of the East Coast All-Stars in this second quarter here, pushing the margin back out to 3. The East Coast have been a lot better this quarter. President's probably in the last 5 minutes, a bit of a momentum shift, getting a little bit on top of things again, which I think Coach Banyard will be thrilled to see. But a bit of work there for Lippy Ascot to do, just to try and get them going again.
Most definitely. And unlucky there from Duncan.
Yeah.
Picked the right way, got the foot, and just happened to go over. But
she's had a couple of those. She's been reading it well. It's just been eking by, and you have those days as goalkeepers sometimes. But at least most goalkeepers will tell you.
I don't know, my goalkeeper in my family tells me that he doesn't see too many.
Yes, Cody, from a very, very good Glenelg, of course, #1 in our club rankings heading into the break over there in South Australia, undefeated so far. Probably doesn't get a lot of shots on him, does he?
No, well, he tells me he's averaging 5 goals a game. Levy just coming through the middle there. Tells me he's only averaging 5 goals conceded a game, but when people only have 6 shots on you, it's probably a shooting percentage.
Yeah, we'll ask him what the percentage is and see if he answers that.
No, he's doing really well up and coming, and there's a couple of really good up and coming keepers, and they're both here for South Australia. Lincoln Potter coming off the under-19s, and obviously coming back from the States, and Code obviously here. So good depth in the young keeping stakes for South Australia.
And it's good to see here today the two sides, of course, the East Coast All-Stars, for those who aren't sure. As you can see, the really, with State of Origin this week, the recognisable blue and maroon. That is because they are made up of players from New South Wales and Queensland. They came to the seniors last year in this particular format last year. Only scored 1 goal for the entire tournament, and yesterday they matched that tournament total against Western Australia within the first 10 minutes, which was fantastic to see. And good things happening up in north of the wall, up in New South Wales and in Queensland. A couple of Queenslanders out here today running around for him, side predominantly from Sydney.
Trying to go coast to coast, looks inside. Yeah, that shows improvement, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And look, New South Wales, they'll be trying to push towards a club competition relatively soon. Of course, 4 clubs hanging around up in Queensland, the University of Queensland, Gold Coast, Brisbane and Sunshine Coast. But a big news is Canberra. Got about 30 to their first catch-up last week.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. And that's look, they've got another catch-up on Sunday. So, of course, if you do live in Canberra and you're tuning in or know someone from Canberra, down at Federation Square, they'll be tossing the ball around. So jump on the ALN page for details.
With all these growing clubs in other states, it'd be great to see a lacrosse tournament in Canberra or in New South Wales or in Queensland coming up.
Oh, it would be fantastic to get back up there, wouldn't it? It'd be really, really good to get up there. And
I've never had the opportunity. No,
look, I've been playing here in Australia my whole life and haven't been up there either. So it'd be nice to get a bit of a change of scenery, get a bit more exposure for the sport. But
I remember talking to the New Zealand team last year, both men's and women's, and with Auckland and those guys coming through and girls, and they questioned about maybe going to New Zealand one day to play nationals over there, and I think that's a fantastic opportunity both for players and for their development as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. A strong Pacific region will be good for Australia as Churchwood looks to clear the ball.
Good upward look. That's a fantastic
beautiful
clear. That's fantastic, and that's opened up, and this will open up here. Good defence there, just shutting it down, but still on the bottom corner, and got a push there.
Or a trip, or maybe both.
Or both.
Take your pick. Either way, they got the ball.
Certainly wasn't my flop.
This is going to be a big play here for Duncan and her defence. She needs to be able to hold firm here and get into the halftime break with the lead still at 3. See if they can come out of this quarter with a tie.
So just pushing this right side now. Good defence. Looks inside. Yeah, nice cut, nice take, but the angle wasn't there. Looking the other side. Fantastic save down low.
That's a terrific save by Savannah Duncan.
They can turn games your way a little bit when keepers start picking those up.
Oh, absolutely. Duncan in no rush whatsoever. For those viewers at home, Hannah, how long does she have to clear the ball out of the circle and move it up?
Oh, good look.
Falls on the ground.
Just, that could work in New South Wales, Queensland's favour here. As they have numbers coming down, there's someone open right in the middle of the cage. Looks in, great take. Oh, Pemberton. I think that came off the post.
I'm not sure if it came off the post, but I thought I saw her stick hit it.
We'll give it to the goalie because goalies love a good save, and if it wasn't, she made it, put it there.
Yeah, she would have been there. She would have saved it if it had gone just inside the post if she didn't already.
Fantastic positioning, and
Pemberton with a great finish. Puts that one. Really good composure there to lose the ball as she came around the corner and to stick it, as we'll see on the replay. That's a fantastic effort from the East Coast.
And that's her second for the day.
So he just loses the ball there, but has the presence of mind to pick it up and the ability not to just necessarily shoot blind, but to get enough turn on that ball to put it off the deck. And that's a big goal for the East Coast. As I say, if they would have been hoping to go into the breakdown by 3, but they've managed to cut the margin to 2.
What I think is so fantastic about the tournament this year is both with the Presidents and with the Victorian and West Australian sides, we're seeing so many of those girls that are trialing for the under-19s getting a run. and seeing what they can put up against Australian players and seeing how they go there.
Oh, it's going to be a terrific learning experience for them, isn't it? And you can see the East Coast side have come a long way. Have you found they've improved a lot from last year, Hannah?
Oh my gosh, it's uncontestable. I think we won every draw against them last year, and they were so much more competitive there. I know they've been training hard. I think, am I correct in saying Carolyn McCluskey is the Director of High Performance?
Yes, she is, yep.
She's put a lot of work into bringing them up, getting their training sessions together, and I know that they're having meetups in Queensland and then in New South Wales, and they're trying to get together as much as possible to bring both states together to lift.
Well, as Lukey Oswald kicked in as well, good to see you, Lukey, having a look over there, mate. But we get Canberra and Tasmania as well, potentially looking to join the All-Stars in the coming years. Tasmania, of course, looking to get going as well. So lots of little growth spots over on the East Coast, which is fantastic to see.
I've heard tales of lacrosse tournaments in Tassie.
Yes.
I'd love to get down there myself.
Oh, that would be a nice, certainly a different location. As Mitchell looking to rip another one here, and Duncan meets it.
Unlucky. That one hit post.
That one was post?
That one hit post, I heard it.
Must have been because the goalie stepped out there.
Yeah.
Made her shoot wide.
Scared her off.
They've got a chance here if they can push the ball forward.
That came off a foot then, but it's turned over.
Yeah.
So we've got clock on the field here.
Oh, get there. Clock's on the field.
Clock is on the field here, so less than 30 to go, you would think.
See if Presidents can get another goal before the halftime.
See if Levy can just...
18 seconds,
Levy could just blitz this, get inside, step inside again.
Good job.
Looks up, creates a hole, and left hand.
Oh!
And that is on the line.
I thought that went in.
That one.
Duncan putting the foot out there and absolutely no. She's going to want to be careful not to cradle the ball back into the cage.
Yeah.
That would count. Well, no, it count.
As the halftime whistle goes here.
Yeah,
and
you did see Shannon dodging through 3 defenders, stepping over one to make sure she didn't hurt her, and still making it to cage.
So, yeah, another fantastic end to that first half there. Really exciting second quarter. Of course, the Presidents killing the first quarter, racing out to a 4-1 lead, but the East Coast All-Stars managed to chip away at that advantage and then weathered another East Coast storm to re-establish the buffer. But that last little patch of play there for the East Coast was really, really, really important there. That goal from Pemberton on that corner there to cut the margin to 2. Very, very critical for them. And, no, it's been a fantastic game so far. Hannah, really enjoyed it.
Okay, and I think we're going to cut down to the field here.
Yep, let's see Hannah's got Doc.
I'm here with Dennis Banyard, the coach for the Presidents. How has it been bringing all the girls together without much training time all together and just getting to the field?
Well, it's been a breeze, actually. The girls, with their spirit they've brought to the team and the way they've just, gone and just done it is, has been awesome. I haven't really had to do anything at all. It's been very straightforward. Yeah.
And who have you been looking to lead the team? We usually have captains through the tournament and through the preparation. Who's really been stepping up to bring that authority and leadership to the team on the field?
Well, we've got a very distinct 2 groups of players. The WA girls are all midgets, sort of under 18s, and then we've got 5, I think, international girls. 2 from the States and 3 from the States and 2 from the UK, who are both much more senior and have been basically just come in and taken over that leadership quality straight away. Yeah.
Well, it's a wonderful experience for them. What do you look to get out of this game and to learn from this game with these girls to take into tomorrow against WA?
Well, it's all about game time and experience for these girls, and the new ones are just out there to have fun. That's the main thing. Okay.
Well, thank you, Dennis, for chatting with us, and we'll see you after the game.
Pleasure. Thank you.
All right, we thank Hannah and Doc there, and a good insight as the ALN is bringing us, but I think we're going to go to the highlights here of this first half or second quarter. Fantastic finish there on the bottom corner. And again, shooting from very similar spots. They are. And as we see the highlights there, great little save down low. Kicks it up. Mitchell with this one. Just bursting through, putting it to the left-hand side.
Yeah, both goalies really had their moments there at various times, didn't they? I mean, there's some terrific finishing by both sides, but Churchwood and Savannah and Duncan both made some really good saves at really critical times. Duncan in particular there late in that second quarter to keep things squared away and keep them ahead, which was really good to see. But the pick of the bunch for the first half, I mean, look, Erin Mitchell's been absolutely fantastic. A young player has been creating opportunities for the Presidents. Who stood out for you, Tony, for the Presidents side?
Look, the Presidents side, I like Erin Mitchell.
Yep.
She's creating a lot of drive coming down there, and we saw in that last little passage there. Heraldson's been really good, and obviously, oh look, Hallow's early, and Fraser. They're across the board. She's pretty even across the board at the moment.
Yeah, they've got some good contributors, and look, and for the East Coast All-Stars, look, they've really chipped away. As I said, Pemberton was really critical, one of the co-captains of this side from New South Wales. Her drive through the midfield's been very, very important for them to try and get back on top. They've probably lost the possession battle so far, but her overall skill set's been very good, and she's been managed to chip in with a couple of very good goals. And again, Duncan's been incredible in the cage, made some really big saves. That foot stop there just at the end to have the presence of mind to get the foot down to stop the ball from rolling across the line was really quite good.
Yeah, look, I've been impressed with Duncan and both keepers. Their actually feet are moving really well, you know, and that's, for me, the first thing I look at as a coach is, with my keepers, is which feet are moving well. And they've both been moving to the ball while they haven't actually got the ball sometimes. But that foot save down there was pivotal at that point.
Absolutely. It really was. Yeah, no, that was at a really good time as well, because, I mean, I think that takes them away so that they win that quarter 4-3, which will give Linton Ascot something really positive to talk about with their squad. And, of course, assistant coach Omar Al-Kayet down there, and Britt Faulkner, of course, one of the other playing assistant coaches. So as we just have a look over on ground number 2, I think we are all tied up. 5 apiece between Victoria and Western Australia on ground 2. A critical game in the men's tournament over there on the far side. As we get ready to go here again for third quarter action. And gun to your head, Tony, where do you think this game's going?
I reckon it's going to even up. I reckon we're going to go to golden goal.
I'll get off the fence.
No, I'm going golden goal.
You're always going for golden goal.
I love golden goal. I thought it was going to be golden goal in the last one, but there was a post hit down the end.
You know what? I was hoping it was going to be golden goal as well.
Oh, come on. All right. One of us has got to get a little bit, put it on the line here.
I just want to add...
I think the Presidents might squeak home.
I'm on the Presidents too.
I just want to add one more thing, though. When you guys were talking about the players that have stood up, we talked a lot about the goalies and also about the attackers that are pulling it through and scoring in the midfield. But I also think you have to give some of the credit to the President's defense there, because when the All-Stars are bringing it down, you've got some great defense coming from Emma Graham, who's just come back from her first year of college in the States. And I think that you've seen some maturity from Olivia Wills, who had a disappointing finish to her 18s tournament and has, in my opinion, looking at this today and watching her yesterday, has grown from that and learned the control that's really helping her keep her defense.
Look, Wills was very good in that first half. As we have the Presidents bringing it down for the first shot on cage.
That's Brianna Curran-Turner there with her first goal of the day.
Between the 5-hole.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of assists from the President's side as well, which is really great to see those young guns.
Well, that's particularly impressive, though, isn't it? It seems to show a cohesion between those players, which you would expect from a side that had a full preparation. But to be thrown together late in the piece and to be making those passes, it's particularly impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, look, that was the movement at the moment is creating these goals. And if they keep the ball moving as quickly and as freely as they are, this game could open up a little bit.
That was an ideal start for them, isn't it? Getting themselves ahead. Re-establishing that 3-goal buffer.
Oh.
Great.
You can see all the people behind the line just wanting to jump over and grab that ball.
That's that rule adjustment kicking in, isn't it, Hannah?
Yeah, although I think that the biggest change has been the quarters, because it's such a longer game now with the 20-minute quarters. And then there's 2 extra center draws no matter what, because it's always being brought back to the middle at the quarter time. And that's been making center draws even more critical than they have been in the past.
As the Presidents bring the ball out here and go into another offensive attack. 8 goals to 5 currently. Presidents up over New South Wales, Queensland. As we have a 3-second rule there, and there's a player right in the middle of the field here in the centre, but just didn't quite hit the pass. And New South Wales, Queensland will try and clear it. A great pass there and a great take.
Oh, great clear.
Fantastic clear, and but the Presidents,
See the President's midfielders
their
dropping really
midfield
quickly.
dropped really quickly back into the defence, and it's really creating hard, and might have just stepped in the crease there.
Same result.
And the keeper will start. Keeper will start with the ball here. But a good look inside. An opportunity for New South Wales, Queensland, just not taking it, but opportunities are opening up. And a great little pass from the goalie. You like to see those short passes hitting the stick where they did, and that was fantastic.
This is Emma Graham clearing the ball out, as Hannah alluded to. Emma's just returned from St Francis University, an East Fremantle player. She's I think a two-time All-Star with the under-18s from a couple of years ago.
Memory serves, that's correct.
Yeah, so Emma, certainly one of the
great cut
upper
down the
echelon
outside.
players. Not sure if she's eligible for the next under-19s team. She'd be pretty stiff if she
She's
was a
too
little
old,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
wouldn't be too much.
She was in like the youngest age group of the ones that for the last under-19s.
So she just misses out.
Yeah, just misses out. Would have given her a pretty good shake though as well. Certainly a player to keep an eye on.
Or little.
I think she would have been a real chance to make the West Australian side if she'd been back in town.
I think that I can't speak for Emma because I don't know, but I think that she'd probably be looking to learn from her experiences in the States and then possibly go for an Australian team.
Yeah, definitely got the ability.
Steph Hallow's just winding up to give it a crack and drew another
Free
one.
space.
I like the dropping. You don't see that much in women's lacrosse where they drop the ball down like the guys want to shoot every ball from. But certainly drew and given her a little bit more space to work in here, and I'm sure she'll put a shot on cage. Oh, great defence. Oh,
Down.
Good effort, good recovery there from the Presidents. They'll get another opportunity to go back into their sets.
good stick skills there, just to hold that up under a little bit of pressure. They've got a push.
Just looking to get themselves sorted out and ready to go again from the... It looks like this opportunity will probably be shut down.
Pemberton just took 3 steps to her left then.
She looks...
She like, oh, there we
ripped
go.
one from the
Ripped one.
outside.
Pemberton just snuck in there.
Yeah,
And you could hear the coach of the opposition going, where's she going? And you know what, if you get away with it?
Well, yeah, it'd be interesting because those with good hearing could pick up on some of the coaching calls that are going out there. So maybe a strategic advantage watching the coverage.
So the President's moving the ball around here in offence, and they'd be looking forward to getting another one on the board and just extending this lead right now. We've got another whistle. And I didn't pick up what that one was for. The President's in a shooting position. Oh, great pick up there by Pemberton, standing in the middle of the field in that offence, and here they go to clear it.
See you joined down there by one of the Blair sisters, I believe, Hannah. Is that right?
Yes.
Is she going to jump on and say a few words, is she?
Would love to. So who do you think, who are you backing today, Libby? Presidents or the East Coast All-Stars who've really stepped up their game this year?
I think I'm backing Presidents today, just generally because I think that they have a lot of young girls that could have part of the under-19 squad, and I think that their fitness will step up in the last quarter.
They certainly do have a lot of depth that I think that you can see a few of the East Coast All-Stars are still working with their stick skills, as their coaches alluded to in the post-game talk of our game yesterday. They're still learning. They're learning fast, but they are still learning.
Libby's probably a little bit biased, though, isn't she? A few ex-teammates out here from her under-18 team.
I mean, a few current teammates, I'd say, from her Aussie squad. She may be a little biased, that's true.
And Libby with a great game today. One of the young crew coming through the WA team. And,
Is there anything you'd like me to ask her about the game today?
Oh, look, I was just really impressed with her game and the game of the other youngsters in that side. Certainly very mature in what they were doing with their lacrosse.
Well, yeah, she's a veteran at a very young age. As the President's snag another very good finish there. That's Megan Moser on the bottom corner, getting herself a little bit of space.
And just doing the same with the scoreboard, just bringing it out with a little bit of space. So we've got a 9-5 game at the moment, and just extending it out.
I think with getting those young guns into the WA team this year, they've come back with some winning experience against Victoria and against South Australia in their 15s and their 18s campaigns. So it's been really great for them to bring that up, because the girls coming up in Victoria, they've played against them for the past 5 years, and they're bringing that experience into seniors that we've been lacking as a state.
Which is fantastic, those under-15 development tournaments and then the 18 tournaments, and they're really well looked after with the players, and they get a lot out of it, and especially these under-15 tournaments. I was able to coach one of the men's or boys teams last year from South Australia, and the skill sets they bring back certainly transfer into this, into 18s, into this. So, you know, congratulations to the ALA for these tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, obviously this tournament is going under a review this year, so we can expect later in the year to hear some decisions from.
Beautiful shot.
Just ring-a-ding ding, rips one off the inside of the post. That is an incredible finish.
That was top shelf.
Top Fraser. I would be checking that stick as well. That's a bazooka. That is a bazooka.
You can see her happy dance after it as well.
I was about to say that was like the scotch I had last night, as you said, top shelf. And none of the lowest stuff.
Talk it up, Tony. As you can see here on the replay, just puts one in off the pipe. Bang!
And liked it.
Yeah, she did. Giving it the happy dance. Oh, we got to get the happy dance again on replay. That was fantastic.
Just put it on loop. We've got a new lacrosse meme. It'll get us out there. It'll help get us exposure in the sport.
Absolutely. We need that footage. That's a fantastic finish.
Sign of a great attacker, one that loves their own work.
Absolutely.
I had a little dance today when I scored.
I did see that.
We're gonna have to go back in the back into the archives and meme that one up, I think, Hannah.
No, it's okay. Just stick with Isla's dance. I don't need it.
Do a little dance.
This is an important shot here. Great
return.
That's a terrific response there from Emma Agnew for the East Coast All-Stars as they cut that margin back to 4. And to say that they needed that one, Tony, was probably an understatement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that took about 30 seconds to bring it out of the mid, and Agnew looking at doing it herself. Top quality shot.
Yeah, just trying to fire up her team here, trying to get some life into them. They haven't started this second half the way they wanted to. They've probably started a little bit flat.
And she's straight back into the mid. That's what I like.
Absolutely, taking it upon yourself.
Sometimes you just got to grit your teeth and get in there and do it again. And that's her second for the day.
As you can see, Steve, we're getting a little bit of rain down there, are we, Hannah?
Yes, I'm getting the VIP treatment, getting brought umbrellas. Turns out we're not sponsored by Bunnings, though, so we switched.
No, we do have plenty of very good sponsors, though, so of course we'll shout them out through the second half if we can. But there seems to be too much happening here at the moment. Fraser on the
another
outside.
happy dance.
Oh, here we go.
Wait for the dance.
Here we go. Come on, let's see it. I think there was a bit of a skip. There was a bit of a skip after that one.
Look, no, I think she's
got a big smile ear to ear. Maybe she'll do a little dance as she runs.
How old is Isla? She's only probably, what, 16-ish?
Isla just had a 15s tournament. That was her last year of 15, so she's got another 2 or 3 years
And the
left
girls love it. Look at that. The girls love it. The greatest thing about lacrosse.
Look, and and again, for the disappointment of South Australia not being here, this is a massive positive for the competition. In particular, Western Australian lacrosse, a lot of very good young players. And
it's very sad to see South Australia not here, but it has created the opportunity for mainly our girls to get a run and at this extra level competition.
And have they got matching braids in their hair? What's that, the pick there?
They have matching orange bows to set them apart. Yes, I think that's part of their bringing together.
We'll have to ask Doc Banyard about that one. I have no doubt that was Doc's idea.
Or maybe we'll ask their manager, Annabelle Wills.
Oh, well, there you go. That certainly screams.
I can tell you East Fremantle also wears bows in their hair, so I don't know. There might be a correlation.
Is that the men's state league side you're talking about there, Hannah?
Yes, definitely. The East Fremantle State League team definitely wears bows in their hair. You can't see under their helmets, but they've all got them.
No, that's right. And of course, look, we are having a break around the country at the moment as we head into the break. Newport from over there in Victoria. Shout out to anybody over in Victoria who are watching. Make sure you jump on our page and let us know you're there. They go into the break number 1, closely followed by Footscray and Brighton at 3. East Fremantle, the highest ranked West Australian side, at 4. And we will talk about the men's side of things during tomorrow's coverage, but certainly 3 interesting competitions around. Of course, Victoria jumping back out to a full Premier League, which is good to see. 8 sides in the competition. South Australia, Tony, a thrilling competition at the moment. Wilderness beating Glenelg, I see. Glenelg falling out of the top 10, and you've got 5 sides that are all vying for the title at the moment.
Yeah, there's all been results through that South Australian League at the moment that surprise you of it. I know Burnside and Sturt actually drew the other day as well.
Well, Burnside are probably the hottest team in women's lacrosse over there at the moment, aren't they? I mean, they've had some great wins lately. And as I say, Wilderness inserting themselves into that mix as well. It could be anybody's. And, of course, over here in WA, Hannah might want to block her ears at the moment, but there's probably a 3-horse race at the moment. But Wembley looking good for a little while there. Probably didn't have a great outing the last time they played East Fremantle, and East Fremantle sort of seized the ascendancy in the West Australian competition. But Wanneroo Joondalup are certainly hanging around, and they're a tough out at the moment as well, aren't they, Hannah?
They are. We had a very good game against them. We probably played our best when we played Wanneroo. However, East Fremantle, that is our team to beat. We'll be honest about it. We seem to beat them all throughout the season and then lose the grand final. And maybe this year we have a switch. Maybe this year, even though they beat us in the season, we'll win the grand final.
Annabelle Williams going low there.
Change back up. Good way to change the shot there. A real sign of skill when it comes to the women's game, of course, with the sticks being a little bit different to the men's. The ability to drop that and try and rip that from the depths of the lawn. But terrific shot there. Wide left.
Is a lot more difficult than the men's with the.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the women, of course, so much fitter as well. So much fitter as well.
Yes.
They are incredibly fit.
The men's game is more about the brute force. Women's is about finesse, gentlemen.
No, certainly don't disagree with you there.
Side.
Oh, that was beautiful.
What a great
finish there from Agnew.
Emma Agnew again. That's her second goal in a row for the East Coast, as they are certainly closing the gap here.
And Linton Ascot, after calling that last time out, after that last President's goal, will be really happy with getting that one.
Absolutely. We're looking at cuts the margin back to 4 here. When you're down by this sort of margin, and you were down by this sort of margin earlier today, Hannah, I mean, how do you get yourself back up to be able to try and cut that back? How do you approach a deficit like this?
Minute by minute, play by play. The ball's on the ground, that's your first order of business. When you get it, you look for the pass. It's just the first step after the next. It's one goal at a time, chipping away. And I think that if we would have had two more minutes, we had built a lot of momentum in our game.
Yeah, momentum's a big part of any sport.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just had to look at the thrilling under-18s championship game back in Glenelg this year. It was a game of different momentums, and as you say, I mean, depending on if you move that whistle, 5 minutes later, West Australia probably go on a run. If you had another 5, Victoria probably have a run. So, but I mean, it'd be a good approach here for the East Coast to try and chip away here, as they've got a real opportunity again here as they push the ball deep into their attacking half.
And it was really a crucial time for them to win that centre draw as well, to keep that momentum.
Absolutely.
Their captain, Pemberton.
Yeah, she was in the draw there. Great rip. And Williams, I think, probably need to see a little bit more out of Williams. She, of course, these two sides here, whilst they combined to come over here to Perth, play their annual East Coast Cup between New South Wales and Queensland. New South Wales prevailing in that one. But Annabelle Williams had a terrific tournament for New South Wales, bagging 5 in the first game and then 3 in the second. And she really is their go-to attacker. And they probably need to see some more out of her here if they're going to start cutting into this deficit.
Well, we saw a lot of her in the midfield yesterday as well, not just the attacking line. She has an amazing one-arm pickup. You can see the American.
Great look back inside with a great finish there. That's a great finish there from Fraser. Oh, no, sorry. From Claire Stewart-Hunter. That's her second for the day.
I think that New South Wales, Queensland, the Allstars have had a lot of feeding goals. It's a lot of team goals, which is really important for them, because when you do come back from deficit, you have to lift together and lift as a team. And you're seeing Australia's pulling it, not Australia, the presidents for Australia are pulling it together and trying to cut the momentum and start from scratch here.
Well, of course, that's a timeout on the paddock here. So an opportunity here by the Presidents just to sort of settle things down, and Doc's going to be looking to try and get them to reset and refocus here as the margin's being cut to 3.
Just like the first game. A little bit of momentum swing.
Yeah, no, look, it's fantastic to be able to get these 2 games broadcast. You could look at the women's schedule, and today certainly was going to always be the pick of the bunch, and feel very vindicated with that first game, which was nothing short of an absolute thriller.
That was an absolute cracker. And while I've watched a couple of good women's games lately, I watched the NCAA Div 1
yeah,
final.
James Madison, of course, pinching that one. Different name up there, which is exciting.
Cracking game of lacrosse.
We're back in the middle for the draw. Pemberton back in the middle here for the East Coast. Claimed a very important rip on the last occasion to push them back into attack.
Would like to get another one here, I would say. they can get a centre draw here.
Well, at the moment they're still down on this quarter. The margin has been pushed out to 3, so they're starting to get a little bit of ascendancy here.
And there we see that staying behind the line, which is really, really good to see.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, great step by Williams. She's in on the inside.
Getting
Beautiful crash by Presidents as well.
really good crash, but we're going to see a... No, I thought she was reaching for a card there for a second. Just a flag.
Just a flag. I think she probably got a little bit into her sphere, but not enough, and not with the intimidation.
Annabelle Williams, great save. Straight at the body, but great pick up there. And should just bring it to space here.
I think what we're seeing out of the East Coast All-Stars is not only are they able to get those center draws, but they're also there for the ground balls. That last center draw became a ground ball over the line. The rebound off the shot, ground ball.
Yeah, their ground balling's been really good thus far. And I'm sure that they would want to get another one on the scoreboard here just to cut that deficit. And we see Agnew again doing all the work. Great check there from behind. Didn't see the double coming.
That's B. Cameron with a fantastic strip there, strip check.
And the Presidents will be glad to have this ball in offense after playing a fair bit of defense in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
It'll be interesting to see whether they settle it
Great
or they
look
just
on the
try and get one
outside
down.
here. There's open there. This could open up very quickly. Oh,
Oh, she got a piece of it
got a
and it's
big
gone
piece of
over.
it.
Oh. Wonderful pass across the field as well.
Lizzie Crouch with that goal there. Just someone has to finish and did a great job of it, but unfortunately the keeper did get a piece of it, but when they go behind the line, they are all clear.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, as you can see here, got a huge chunk of it, but it's just hit the deck and rolled through, and Duncan immediately kicking herself. Got a huge chunk of that one there. Just a score update on the on ground 2. It looks like Victoria have gotten away with it over there. Up by a score of 11-6, I think I can see over there. So certainly setting the scene for a cracking game tomorrow against South Australia between SA and WA.
Was it last year that the boys tournament had it went down to the 1 goal differential between the teams,
goal
where
difference
everyone had
very critical. Both sides last year split the games between them, so all 3 came out with 1 win, and it came down to
1 goal.
1 or 2 goals.
2 goals.
No, I think 2 goals between all 3. And of course, Western Australia were on the raw side of that deal. Beat Victoria last year, but South Australia then turned around and upset them in their game.
Oh,
so,
nice step there.
Mitchell steps on the inside.
Fantastic step.
Cheryl.
Rips one on the bottom left-hand corner, and that's another great finish by the Presidents, and they push the margin back out to 5.
Yeah, I was part of that South Australian team last year, and I know that at the end of that game, we were all scratching heads to see whether or not we were going to go through.
Yes, it was very controversial last year.
I
remember everybody huddled around the club until about 8 o'clock at night while everyone had their calculators out trying to figure out what had happened.
East Torrens Payneham didn't mind that.
No,
the
revenue went through the roof behind the bar while everybody was waiting, and of course everybody drank responsibly.
Of course.
Of course. See,
Well,
while all the men were there, the women's were in bed ready for their games the next
That's
day.
exactly right, yeah.
The men were just carbo loading.
As we have the ball loose again, that's another terrific pickup. That's
Beautiful
a
nice
check.
The ball just falling the way in the last couple of minutes of the Presidents.
See who gets there's a little bit of a...
Oi.
Yes.
Hang on.
Yep, she was backing into her during that, so
We're
we'll
gonna
give it to the
play
Presidents.
Down here, just with a... Hopefully she's just a bit of a bump there.
Yeah.
And for your woes, even though you've fallen over, just go out the backside, please.
That's exactly right, yeah. The ultimate indignity.
Just that little bit of salt. Oh, that's the one that can really hurt you.
Ooh.
Throwing a ball back inside with 4-on-1 there, but...
I thought she was passing to the goalie, which is the safe choice there.
Yeah. You saw Agnew, and Agnew's been doing a lot of work this quarter. Oh, great cut down the bottom, just missed that pass. And the ball will just trickle out of bounds here. No, kept in. Good work there by the goalie. Picks the ball up, kicks it upfield, and Presidents are on here. There's a 4-on-2 if they go hard.
It's great seeing Churchwood having that confidence to step out of cage, as she's only, as she's been recently working on that at trainings.
Oh, Green missing that one.
Oh.
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of the girls coming out of the cage. Create that extra player, and if they've got the skills to do it, get them out there.
I think we saw that a lot at World Cup last winter when the girls were playing over in England. You saw a lot of the goalies from different countries coming very far out, and looks like we're looking to create that in Australia.
Yeah, I know I've got a daughter who's a young keeper, and I do encourage her to get out and about and run around.
Oh, absolutely.
Much for her fitness as anything.
Well, so much so that they decided to put 2 goalkeepers in the world team.
Which is
an absolute cop-out. But, yeah, so moving right along. Anyway, as the East Coast look to try and push the ball back into attack, Williams with the ball.
Agnew just...
Game's gotten away from them here a little bit in the last couple of minutes. Not long left in the third. Presidents with a little bit of momentum here, pushing that margin back out to 5.
Looking for another feed.
Pemberton just looking at it, getting inside there.
Oh,
Good
beautiful check.
Great check. Ball falling to New South Wales, Queensland though.
Beautiful crash.
Nice crash and great check
finish
again.
the check.
And if they kick the ball up here, they could be on. And here we go again, a break by the Presidents.
They'll try and make this a fast break, I think.
So we've got a 4-on-3. 4-on-3, just needs to move the ball.
Who's there for backup?
It's Izzy Crouch with the ball, and Duncan's going to get it. Great job there by Duncan.
Duncan did a great job there to get that back up. Probably should have moved the ball on a bit quicker to the open players then.
I'm questioning the shot that was taken there as well.
Yeah, I'd question that. But if that ball was moved quicker, they had a 4-on-3 opportunity. And oh, that's a great pass, though. That is a fantastic
and a beautiful finish. Offside hip.
Megan Moser there with her second goal of the game.
I believe that was Emma Green.
I think that was Emma Green.
Emma Green, sorry, my bad.
But, yeah, fantastic look through. And that's
still her second goal of the game. I claim that.
You've done exceptionally well there, Timmy.
I can count to 2.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
He is so smart. S-M-R-T. Yeah, so, but a fantastic look through. So really saw that open
great.
player.
Terrific vision. The vision there to be able to spot the player on the far side, to be able to snag that was sensational.
Here's Shannon Mitchell with the ground ball.
Of course, Mitchell moved over to Subiaco this year, hasn't she, Hannah?
We have a lot of girls that have aged up and are able to play state league, and so both the Mitchell girls went over there just for state league. They're playing 17s for Wembley.
Oh, excellent. So that's a good opportunity, and obviously Subi would be more than happy to do that. As on ground 2, it looks like the game's all finished over there, and it looks like Victoria have claimed an 11-6 victory.
Wow, that's a change.
Over Western Australia. That's a huge win by Victoria, isn't it, Tony?
Huge win. Huge win. I came in here thinking that WA would have been favourites for this tournament.
Well, yeah, no, I thought on paper their side looked very, very good. And Victoria, I mean, Victoria's just got incredible depth over there. So there, you know, you take a couple of their Australian players out and replace them with guys that could easily have been Australian players. So not a huge talent drop off that, say, WA or South Australia might be able to wear, but Victoria with a tremendous job there. Claiming that one, and look, Coach Nathan Rainey will be very disappointed. But for the ALN, it's a win because it sets up an absolutely thrilling game tomorrow between WA and SA.
You do love that, don't you?
Oh, look, it's a win for the ALN, that's for sure. So it's going to be hopefully
Team ALN.
Absolutely, get some people tuning in from across the Nullarbor there from South Australia, and we hopefully get some Victorians tuning in to see who their boys in blue are going to be playing.
Victoria obviously going straight through now.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Victoria will go straight through to the final on Sunday, and tomorrow will be a do or die. A lot of hands on hips over there from Western Australia at this stage. You know, a very high quality tournament, this one. A lot of the Australian players are out there at the moment, which is good. And of course, this is probably a useful opportunity to thank everybody who's been involved with getting the Australian Sharks. We'll mention these guys again tomorrow, but they've had some terrific corporate support, and big thank yous in particular over to Maverick Lacrosse and Cascade Lacrosse, 2 of their equipment and helmet suppliers. They've been absolutely terrific to those guys, and they're platinum sponsors of the team. Of course, also a big thank you to Bendigo Bank Murrumbina for their gold sponsorship. G-Form as well and LP support have also come on board late to provide compression and protective wear to our guys as they travel over to Netanya in Israel and look to try and get back on the podium, of course, finishing 4th in Denver 4 years ago. They'll be looking to try and fend off some Scotland, England, Israel, Japan, and try and see if they can start to crack Israel, US, and perhaps Canada. Still no word coming out of the World Champions as to whether or not they're going to be attending the World Cup this year. Some big issues over in Canada at the moment with respect to insurance and player payments and their national body. So here we are a month out and still no confirmation that their team's going to go over.
Maple leaf may have fallen off the tree.
It has definitely fallen off the tree. So big thank you to all those guys. And of course, just look, Living Choice, ECD Lacrosse Silver sponsors, and Sisu Mouthguards, Smile Council, Shots, and Aussie Bums. Aussie Bums is sponsored and giving the boys some Aussie Bum bathers for their recovery. So
I did say I could wear one out here in the, but...
Well, we asked for some ALN one, but by popular demand, you and I were prevented from donning them.
Yeah, I agree with that decision.
Thanks for the support.
I don't get that.
No, I don't either. Like,
no.
Ripping rigs.
I mean, we epitomise the Aussie bum.
Exactly right. You know, we are it. But, you know, apparently popular demand, the people have spoken and they want to see the Aussie boys and stuff. So fair enough. But
are they doing a fundraiser calendar?
Oh, well, that has been discussed. So, but no, look, but thank you very much to all of those people who have jumped on board the Aussie Sharks as we're back here with 4th quarter action and bit of work here to be done by the Presidents, Tony.
First draw control done, and Presidents have come up with it.
And a little bit of drizzle still falling down there.
Yeah, my umbrella's
starting to fall a little bit more than before.
Hannah looks good in the blue and white umbrella. She'll never admit it, but
I'd rather get wet.
That's her arch nemesis, of course, the East Fremantle Lacrosse Club.
I'll paint it.
I wouldn't know much about them.
Kennedy does seem to be a household name over there.
Yeah, I got all the talking ability. No, the others hogged the athletic ability.
As we get a break here from the ACT, sorry, not ACT. We were talking about ACT before. It is the Queensland New South Wales team. Hopefully soon we will be talking about the ACT team and the Tasmanian team and who knows, Northern Territory.
How long would that tournament be then? We'd have to extend it to 5-6 days?
Well, that's all right, because back in 2016 in Victoria, we had 6 teams over for the men's. We had the Aussie 19s, we had the President's team, we had New Zealand, Victoria, South Australia, and WA. And that ran over 6 days, and it was a fantastic tournament. So more the merrier, we say. More lacrosse. As we have a little razzle-dazzle there, just putting the ball past on the left-hand side.
Oh, where's the backup for the Presidents? That's happened a couple of times. Their goalie's been able to get that ball off of a shot.
She's done a great job a couple of times there.
She has.
To be able to get that back up. And they really would be looking to get a score here down the other end of the field to try and bridge this score.
What is the score? I can't see
the score now is 14-8, so it's a 6-goal deficit.
Yeah, East Coast are going to need to start pegging that margin back as soon as they can do.
That's a great little knockdown there, but and the Presidents will turn the ball over here with space behind.
Yeah, it was an empty stick check.
So if she drives hard enough, she may draw someone here. Or she may just keep going herself.
Well, she's listening. A coach is yelling at her to pull it out.
Don't you hate it when coaches yell at you?
Well, I've had Doc yell at me a few times.
Pemberton ripping the ball down. Oh, great interception.
Good. And who will come up with it?
Good fighting here. Ground balls are keys in any game of lacrosse.
There we go.
Agnew with the ball. Oh, might have just... No.
And who's number 2?
For WA? No, sorry, for the President.
Not for WA, for Presidents. It wasn't just me that did that.
I've just lost my...
But she had a beautiful check, which then made it possible for, I believe, Emma to pick up that ground ball. And then we lost it.
Sorry, I'm still searching that. It's my computer system.
And Bailey Eastman, that's another girl trialing for the under-19s. Good decision by Eastman.
So the President's going into attack here.
I think with the lead they have, they'll probably be looking to slow it down and control the ball, take some time off that clock.
As you can see, around about 15 minutes left in this 4th quarter. the Presidents certainly are taking a fair bit of time off this clock. They also feel defensively, Hannah, do we want to see more from the East Coasters? Should they be out there trying to press them a little bit and put them under the pump a little bit?
With 15 minutes to go, I'm not sure that that would be my call. I'm more conservative when it comes to that, but if they press them out too hard, they'll get too tired and they won't be able to make it back, and it'll create easy holes for the Presidents to drive. Maybe a little bit more pressure on ball at adjacents, but they shouldn't go full out red yet.
And just on that play before, that was B. Cameron on the outside hip, number 2 for the Presidents.
Skylar Levy with an opportunity here to really seal it for the Presidents here and to push it out to a 7-goal game. Rips it wide left. Good back up there from Brianna Curran-Turner.
Do you reckon her dad's taught her to shoot?
I think she has. Gavin,
Yep,
certainly not known for his prowess on the offensive end. Probably known more so for breaking hips on the offensive end.
Well, Skylar's actually had some great games with club, and she's one of the look-to shooters for at least the 17s team.
Yeah, I don't wish he wouldn't get too many looks, I think, with that state league side over there at East Fremantle.
Well, it's a hard one to break into.
Yeah, there's some pretty good players over there. But yeah, Wembley just as good, just as depth. Probably got more depth than East Fremantle, so going to be an exciting finish to the year over here in Western Australia.
Good
Are you
pressure there.
Are you predicting a grand final between Wembley and East Fremantle there, Tim?
I think I am. I think Wanneroo Joondalup certainly have surprised us. They've been very, very competitive and
Very strong. I think a lot of that's coming from their goalie, Olivia Antlov.
yeah, she's been playing. She's had a very good year so far, hasn't she?
Coming off that 18s tournament where I think she got MVP for the States tournament, but not for the whole tournament. Am I correct in that?
Yeah. Look, we did our own one, which
included the
took
Waikato
into
and
account Waikato and Auckland, and there's obviously an official championship side which takes into account the 3 championship games, but at the ALN we decided that, look, over a 12-game slate and with 5 teams, we tried to include everybody in that, and we gave the nod to Molly Dunham, who I think, look, probably...
She had an amazing game against Waikato in particular.
Oh,
that
look,
was
absolutely.
Fantastic game.
And I think there wasn't much between Dunham and Antelov, but I think watching back the game, I think what sort of pushed Dunham over the line for us was that Dunham had a game-changing grand final in our view. She was sensational in that game, made some huge
always
saves.
go with the winning goalie.
Well, yeah, the scores don't lie, particularly can't fight the stats, but no, Dunham was particularly in the first half, kept that game in check for Victoria and kept them in it. But Antelov's obviously continued to bring that form into her efforts with Wanneroo Joondalup. And of course, they've got some studs with Bailey Rose Keenan and obviously some older heads, Julie Ames and Tammy West and that running around. So they'll be very, very good.
And we just saw then on that last shot, Duncan with another first on as a keeper. So she's working hard to get those backups, but threw it up the field and turned it back over to the Presidents. Oh, a little inside. Skylar Levy.
Beautiful finish for Skylar Levy.
Beautiful on the offside hip. Just razzle-dazzled, drew the player, got behind her, and
got a step in front.
A really good shot, though. You still got to finish him.
Yep.
And Levy with the first goal of this last quarter. Even
Has it been that long?
It has been that long. It has. And
looks like everyone's subbing as well.
So 12 minutes to go in this last, and the first goal is scored. But a great little finish there from Skylar. And the score blossoming out to 15-8 in the way of the Presidents. Nice ground ball there. Picks it up and players streaming down.
She is so fast.
She likes what she sees on that left-hand side, and so she should be a good save.
Great save.
Duncan's had that ball hitting the deck and spinning back all day, but she was all over that one there. Didn't allow the opportunity for that ball to roll.
Got one out on the left there with that clear. Made it really difficult.
Great save though. Great save on that sideline to keep that from going out of bounds.
This could be a turnover opportunity. That's nearly gone back in as an own goal.
That's Mitchell again all over that. She's had an incredible day.
It's so amazing to watch them just gaining that maturity on the field as well as off.
Yeah, they're certainly growing through these tournaments, and it's really good to see. It's a good quality lacrosse.
Yeah, what are you looking for? What are you looking forward to getting stuck into them tomorrow, Hannah?
I'm looking forward to it, yeah, especially with these, because we've trained against the 19s to help both them and ourselves. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do, especially with these 5 international players on.
And which clubs are they playing for at the moment, or are they just over here in town?
I believe they're playing for Victorian clubs, if I'm not incorrect. because there's 5 that came over from Victoria. I know that at least one of them's playing for Williamstown, I think. And I don't know, actually. I know nothing. I tell you who all the WA girls play for.
That's our in-depth analysis there.
I know nothing. Yes.
Good look up the top.
Good pickup.
That's a terrific check there.
And then a cover. Unfortunate for them.
Unlucky there. Just throwing the ball back. Try and catch that.
No, they are from Victoria, though.
Yeah, well,
it's a big state, so we'll take that.
Well, as you said, there's only a few clubs there.
Nice take there. Oh, might have worn one. Kicking it out wide just to settle up the ball. Score is 15-8 if you're joining in. Our live broadcast of the Presidents versus the East Coast All-Stars.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. It's fantastic to have you here live on the Australian Lacrosse Network.
Green opening up on this backside here.
Get after it, Emma. Get after it.
Pemberton just with the legal check there. So Green will take the ball. Good to see. I'll get through there and a straight to stick.
Good to see you tuning in, Adam. Thank you all the way from London watching Steph play. So good to see you joining in. Jump on board. Let us know where you're watching from. It's been fantastic to have you here.
Summer in London at the moment.
Yeah, block probably warmer than it is here. So
I'm watching from Wembley Lacrosse Club.
Thank you, Hannah. Comments from the super player.
Ooh, does the goalie see her?
This is where you can get in trouble if that ball turns over. But
that's you made
great pass.
Oh,
that is a fantastic pass, which puts.
And she sprints back to the cage.
That is a fantastic outlet. I'd be very happy with that as a goalie.
Oh yeah, she absolutely hit the nail on the head, didn't she?
I think that she might be looking at the MVP for this game, for her team.
Yeah, she's made some big saves and kept them in the game when the Presidents could have blown this out a little bit earlier.
And the backup she's had.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
She's had 3 or 4 where she's been first on from the keeper.
Just forced turnovers, which is just a fantastic effort. Doing a fantastic job. She's been really good for them. Pemberton's been good, just right on cue. Has unleashed a shot.
See some Victorian boys just walking behind there and says, I might
have a pot shot. Yeah, no, a common reaction that.
You know?
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
The victorious Victorians walking behind the cage at the moment after their 5-goal win over Western Australia.
Good pick up there from Pemberton, though. Has another go at it.
That's a determined crack. Pemberton's probably gone out of the game a little bit in the second half. To the President's credit, they haven't really given her much of an opportunity to get involved.
Good attack on the ground ball there.
Oh,
as we see some break here. There's Mitchell. That's a fantastic pass up the field.
Looking to throw the shake and bake there. Gets through the inside. Great defense from the All-Stars.
Nice crash. Goalie's happy with that one.
The All-Stars shut that one down fantastically. They'll get another opportunity here to press. And look, time is firmly against them. Still time to have a crack.
Agnew's just come on the ground. She's walked straight into the crease there.
G'day, Doreen Brabble over there in Florida. Great to have you tuning in. Thank you very much for watching.
I bet it's warm in Florida
too.
Again,
everywhere that seems to be tuning in at the moment is warmer than it is here at the moment. So.
Which is unusual for Perth.
We're usually the sunny tournament.
Normally you come over here and it's 24 degrees even in the middle of winter. But it is somewhat cooler.
Well, yesterday was the coldest day in 7 years that WA's had, so
and I did hear in the roll, great knockdown, excellent knockdown there. Green just trying to win the ground ball there. I know that with the job I do, that I believe Perth didn't have a day over 40 this year in summer, which is highly unusual for Perth Central.
Very, very unusual, but we also didn't have a lot of rain. It was quite a consistent summer, which was nice for a change, but.
We did have some days over 40 in the fall.
Yeah, but then again, we didn't have a lot of rain, and of course, true to form, we get this beautiful tournament ready to rumble, and we get a lot of rain, and coldest day we've had in 6 years. So thanks for coming, guys. It's been fantastic having you here.
Steps. Okay, just an encroachment there. You've got to be a little bit careful with the goalie stepping back and back and back into that cage there.
Yeah, you do, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Just getting clarification on that now. As Western Australia, the Presidents are going to get a big opportunity here. Very open space in front.
Did you see the call?
I think it might have been, she might have re-answered the crease, I think.
Looks up the top. Oh, great pick
beautiful
off.
steal.
Annabelle Williams has got it all in front of her.
but under immense pressure, and might have worn one on the
I think they might have got
elbow.
Yeah, she's definitely copped one there.
That's
Looking for the ball.
the funny bone isn't that funny sometimes.
No, I don't see her laughing.
Well, she
Mate.
did laugh a little bit. She couldn't find the ball.
Maybe I should tell her one of my jokes. No, she wouldn't.
That won't help.
Oh, no, that won't help at all. No.
The look of confusion grows.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I hear is crickets.
I hear raindrops.
Raindrops keep falling on.
As the All-Stars push the ball back in, not to take away from Tony's sultry singing, but the Presidents look to get out on the break now.
Perfect
They've got it all in front of
opportunity for me to stop.
B. Cameron were pushing the ball out in the open space here. The East Coast have closed that down and got a good piece there.
Unlucky she was.
Yeah, probably a little bit unlucky there to have been
I
pinged,
think
but
she cradled into it.
yeah.
Razzle dazzling sort of behind her and
Oh, absolutely. Got a really good piece of.
shtick.
As B. Cameron continued to try and push the ball out there for the Presidents, as they're going to look to try and eat a little bit more time off. Under 5 minutes to go in this one, as the score is 15-8. The Presidents leading the All-Stars. The ball's at X now. Throws on the inside.
Great look inside.
Beautiful shot by Shannon Mitchell.
Shannon Mitchell
Shazza, as we call her at club, or Cheryl. Anything that starts with a sh.
with a fantastic finish there. Certainly belying the Bogan nickname that you guys seem to have placed upon her.
It's any name that starts with an S, really, or a C, as long as it has that sound.
They all sound the same if you have a
It's
list.
Cheryl and Errol, double trouble from Wembley.
If you do have the list, S and C
L
sound
and
very
B.
similar.
Cheryl.
I'm allowed to do that. I had one when I was younger.
Oh, no, fair enough. No.
So the brown cow jumped over the... You wouldn't know it now. Well, maybe you would.
No. But the Presidents are back in the middle now, and they've got complete control of this game, leading by a score of 16-8. Certainly sets the scene tomorrow for a tougher test for the West Australians.
Great centre there.
Beautiful center by Bailey Eastman. And a pass to Erin. They've played together since they were about 10, so they have some very good on-field chemistry.
Erin's thinking anything that my sister can do, I can do better.
It's particularly great calling this, given that I think a couple of years ago we were calling a lot of these girls in the under-15 nationals. So it's been quite a rapid rise for those ladies.
I remember the year that one of them changed. She was like the human jukebox at training, and she'd sing a different song every 10 seconds. And then she had one under-15s tournament. She's like, this is what I want to do.
So Hallows with the ball here up the top.
Got another opportunity to pad the lead.
And look at that.
Oh,
Sidearm. Reminiscent of
Yep. As
Barnsley.
we say to the guys who love to drop the arms, it's even better to hit the cage with the
wow.
shoulder.
If you drop the shoulder to that extent, you're going to want to hit the cage. But some tremendous skill, though, with the women's stick to be able to get some serious power behind that shot. As Skylar Levy with the ball at X is just surveying what she's got in front of her. Puts the ball up the top to Eastman. Eastman kicks it back around the top. As we're going to get
to Hallows again.
She's going to have another look.
She certainly had some power in that last one. On the left, she wants another one, and good save.
They always say it's better to miss the cage than to hit the goalie.
Yeah, I, as a coach, I like all my shots on cage, but just a little one that just pops over the head there. But yeah, you're right. You would rather
get back up and keep that ball.
Yeah. And there's openings here, up the top.
Ooh.
Mitchell.
Stays with that.
Just a little flick out. Didn't expect that one.
Little screech.
We've got a.
And it appears East Coast is offsides. The umpire's had her hand up. Good call by Rochelle.
I was going to say that was great defense.
Yes, they had an extra man down there. Or woman.
If they don't see it.
No, the umpire had it up.
Unfortunately, then, they did get that one.
No, they got that one. There was certainly no hiding from it, that's for sure.
I saw the umpire's hands was up for about 15 seconds before the whistle was blown.
Yeah, I was thinking you can't go to the toilet now.
So we're down under 2 minutes to go here in this fourth quarter with the Presidents leading by 9.
Good save down on the bottom left-hand side there.
That's another save by Duncan.
Probably just about to seal that MVP for me, Tim.
Yeah, look, she's been very, very good. And for the Presidents...
Who got it yesterday?
For the Presidents, it was Kate Churchwood in the cage, but she hasn't had a lot of work to do this second half. That's probably the one interesting observation that I'd make, is that Duncan's done a mountain of work, but Churchwood really hasn't had a hell of a lot to do. The East Coast only putting 3 away this half to the Presidents who have put away 9.
If only goalies could go goal to goal in the women's game.
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Oh, well, they can in the professional league in America now.
We need to get it here because I would have kept going.
Oh, I got a great piece there from Cameron. It would be a tremendous experience for these youngsters playing with these international players, the presidents. And
learning from their leadership, because the problem with small lacrosse is you're learning from the same people over and over, and this extra exposure to these 5 girls, they're really adding a new dimension to their game. Hopefully they'll bring back to club.
Can only make you better.
Absolutely.
So Hallow's just holding the ball here. We've got about 37 seconds to go in there. The clock's come out onto the field as the presidents look to have the last shot of the game.
Just a little bit of icing on the cake for him, but again, a big, huge shout out.
Good look inside.
Eastman with the ball, just ducking and dicing through the inside there. We've got a call. Clock will stop here.
I reckon Bailey might try and sink one more.
Still going to have some time on the clock here with Eastman with the ball. She's got the opportunity, tries to rip one low, puts it through the 5-hole. That's another tremendous finish there from the junior brigade here for the Presidents. And the Presidents have all but dominated here in this second quarter. It looked like for a little while, probably in the third quarter, they scored a couple of quick ones, and then the East Coast really got that back to a couple of goals there in that third quarter. But then from that point in time, it's just been completely the Presidents.
As it blows out now to a 17-8 lead.
That's right.
And
you'd expect to see these two back in action on in the third place playoff on Sunday morning. So we'll be bringing you the live men's doubleheader tomorrow between WA and SA will be the first game, in a game that'll go through.
Whistles goes, and you can hear the cheers here.
Yeah, so great win here by the Presidents, running out victors by a score of 17-8. Terrific job by them all day as we just look at the goal scorers here for the Presidents. We'll bring that graphic up for you shortly. But a tremendous job there by the Presidents, as we're going to look to try and get you an interview with the winning coach from today.
He's getting suited up now.
Just getting himself together. He's just in makeup, the Doc. He likes to look presentable.
He's a bit pale. They need to fix that, get some blush on him.
Absolutely. Get the manager down there. But that's a thrilling win for the Presidents, for a side that's been cobbled together so late in the piece. They've done a fantastic job, as Doc's going to come over now and going to give us his thoughts on the game.
Well, yes, I'm back with Dennis Banyard to interview him after the great win by his team. Now, the East Coast All-Stars came at you pretty hard late in that second quarter. What did you say to them at halftime to bring the Presidents back into it?
Well, I actually didn't get a chance to say anything at halftime because I was over here talking to you guys. But the girls, the senior girls in the team took over from me as they've been doing the last couple of games, and just reorganised. And I think we did in the third quarter. We got a bit carried away with sliding in defence, and that was my main message halfway through that third quarter to try and get them moving again and settled in. I think we got a bit overconfident and a bit excited, really. But anyway, after that, we killed them.
Yeah, they went on a bit of a run right after halftime. But since then, the possession, your team possessed for it. How did you feel about the possession and the way that they controlled it through the midfield?
Oh, no, I think if we look at the centre possession in particular, I think we dominated in that area, and particularly as the game wore on, I think we got better and better there. Shannon Mitchell, in fact, I think was inspiring at times in the midfield.
One more question, please. What does this win mean for your team going into the game against WA tomorrow? I know you've coached almost every girl on the WA side, and what are you looking to do tomorrow?
I think we just need to keep building on our game plan, which is all about running hard, keeping a lot of pressure around the ball, and just see how it goes tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dennis. I've taken notes. I'll bring it back to my coaches, and thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, so we're about to have the presentations here. pleasing thing, obviously, great that the coaches can have a chat like that and give up their time.
Yeah, get some insight. And Doc's been around the traps for a long time here. He's an absolute stalwart here at the Wembley Lacrosse Club, who turned 80, and I think Doc might have been here from year one. He's been around a little bit. Tell him I said that. No, look, yeah, great to hear that insight. And, of course, as the players line up here for the MVPs. I mean, look, if I had to put my money on it today, I mean, as I say, I think you'd say Erin Mitchell was just sensational through the middle, number 17.
I'd say Erin or Shannon, or what's 35's name? I'm not familiar with the East Coast ones.
We prepare long and hard here at the ALN, as you can hear. I think that's Megan Moser, I think.
Yes,
oh,
okay,
no.
that's...
Oh, no, so that might be Steph Hallows. Steph Hallows was very good.
She had a very good game, especially in the centre.
I think I would put my money on Erin Mitchell because I don't hedge bets. And I think Savannah Duncan for the All-Stars. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Agnew pick it up.
Yeah, I was just thinking Agnew too. She's done a lot of work through the mid and got in scoring positions. So
I think you have to focus on Dunham's ability to get the backups as well today, though, and her amazing clears both from the goalie cage and running it up to the centre.
It's those little 1%ers that make you get to those positions, and she did really well today. So.
There's a Doc's just having a good chat.
And Agnew does
there. Yep, so they picked that like a broken nose,
hey.
Tony.
I've had a couple of them.
No, they have, yeah.
No, I haven't.
Certainly not caused by you.
Boys,
No.
I'm going to give the mic to the coaches over here for when they're presenting the medals, okay?
Oh, excellent. No worries at all. Can we get Doc to repeat all of that?
Say something nice. Be nice.
All right. Presidents, you got Western side. Presidents, it's always great to have you at the tournament. It was a hastily put together team this year, so congratulate all of you for coming together and playing so well as a team. It was fantastic to see. Your MVP is number 4, Shannon Mitchell.
There you go. So, as Hannah is celebrating, indicating that she picked that one.
That was my prediction.
So I think she's rigged that, but got in the ears of the coaches as it was being handed over. But two very, very, very deserved winners today. They both had absolutely sensational games. Mitchell was just a beast through the middle all day for the Presidents. Really gave them some superb drive all day. So. And
you boys were right about Emma Agnew getting the MVP today, although Duncan did have an amazing game.
Oh, absolutely. Duncan had a terrific game, but Emma Agnew certainly was, at that period of time, I think in the third quarter when she was trying to get the East Coast All-Stars back into the game, she really stepped up. As we look at some of the highlights here, and Skylar Levy ripping one there early for a thing as Hallows come around the corner.
There we go. That's that backup we were talking about.
Yeah, Duncan was out of that cage, quick as a whippet, hitting that back line and making sure she was able to try and recover possession.
And as the scoreline presents here, we were watching them, the great little cut in the backside there. Presidents had 11 goal scorers today.
They did. That's a really good spread and very exciting. And when you look through them, what's particularly great to see is, Eastman with 1, Mitchell with 2, Curran Turner with 1, Fraser with 3, Erin Mitchell with 2, Green with 2, Levy with 1. They're all young West Australian players, which is good to see. Of course, having Heraldson and Hallow chipping in with a couple as well, and Crouch was fantastic. And look, it was a really good spread there of goals for the Presidents and really helped them out all day. And of course, the East Coast with their 8, Agnew with her 3, Stuart Hunter and Pemberton. As we, Hannah, I believe we have our MVP there picked by you, Shannon Mitchell.
Yes, I will claim my choice for this. So I'm here with Shannon Mitchell, also from Wembley Lacrosse Club.
Just don't tell her we picked her sister.
Oh, I think she can hear you.
Oh, great. Now we're in trouble.
They want to share it. Shannon, how did you feel running the midfield that game? It seemed to be very fast and won by the ground balls.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a bit changed up last game. I was in defence, so this one was a really fast-paced game, and East Coast really put it to us.
Any questions from you boys, or am I just going to go?
Well, no, I was going to say, you seem to have been practicing your victory dances. Isla Fraser's a particular favourite. She's been doing a really good job. Have you been working on it as well, or is that something you compete against each other as a team?
I can't say I have, but Isla's a big one for that. Yep, definitely.
But look, and just finally, one more. I mean, look, obviously it's how are you finding this tournament for you? Obviously being able to go against the East Coast, but being able to play seasoned Australian players with the States. How are you enjoying the experience?
Yeah, it's really pushing me as a player. It's a great experience versing all these really strong players and from all different states. I've never versed East Coast before, so it's a really good experience.
I've got one more then. What are you looking for tomorrow? Playing against a lot of girls you've played with at 15s, at 18s, at senior level. What are you looking for tomorrow?
Obviously, it's going to be a really tough game. WA is really going to put it to us. But our Presidents team has really come together, and I think we'll really hold them out in the defence end especially.
Oh, don't be silly and don't be shy. You want to beat up Hannah. That's what we're hoping for up here.
Oh,
so,
definitely.
yeah,
I'll be holding her out from her goal shooting.
Oh, thank you, Shannon.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Good luck, Shannon. Well done today.
Thank you.
As we look at the goal scorers here today, as we were talking about, a huge spread of goal scorers for the Presidents here today, as you can see. Did a fantastic job all day. Melissa Haroldson kicking in with a couple, some of the international players, Lizzie Crouch with one. But it was the other player, Steph Hallows with one as well. But Isla Fraser with her 3 goals. She ran out of dances. She'll be working on a couple more tonight. Erin Mitchell, Shannon Mitchell with a couple apiece. But it's a huge spread of goal scorers there. And Tony, for the East Coast, a couple of real stood out to you?
Yeah, look, obviously the MVP, Agnew, did a power of work, ended up with 3. Stuart Hunter had a couple off her back of her game yesterday, where she got one against, that was Victoria. And Pemberton did a power of work too, the captain, up and down the lines, ended up with 2. And Taylor finishing off the scoring for the All-Stars with 1.
Well, that just about wraps us up down here from the Florian Oval. It's been an exciting doubleheader today, of course, recapping some of the scores. Western Australia went down to Victoria in an absolute heart-stopper this afternoon in the first game of today's doubleheader action, running out 16 to 15 winners. And, of course, today's game, the Presidents claiming a 17 to 8 win. On the men's side of the draw, South Australia have run out 19 zip winners over the East Coast All-Stars. Nigel Morton finishing with 9 goals to claim MVP honours over there. And on ground 2, Victoria claiming a 13 to 7 victory over Western Australia in a battle of the step twins, the step goalies, Ryan Spark and Sean Aaron, who I think we are living together. So that would be a quiet conversation later tonight there, I'm sure. But that sets a thrilling scene for tomorrow, Tony, doesn't it? We've got a double header.
Really,
on the men's side.
Really looking forward to that SAWA game, and I'm going to say, Timmy, the last couple of years, SA have done WA, knocked them out of the tournament.
There's no beating around the bush. They've owned them. They've owned them. Western Australia have come in as favourites to both tournaments and have fallen at the South Australian hurdle on each time. So,
but let's hope the weather holds tomorrow. We've got some great lacrosse coming to you from the ALN, and I can't wait.
Absolutely. So tune in tomorrow with the doubleheader, WA versus South Australia, with a spot on the final on the line, and then of course the second game of the doubleheader between Victoria and the East Coast All-Stars. That's the prelude on Saturday to a finals day on Sunday, and we're going to be bringing you a triple header. Probably going to be the Presidents and the All-Stars again in the third place game, followed by the women's final, likely between WA and Victoria. And if today was an entree, then I'm looking forward to the mains. And then, of course, the final in the men's game. Victoria have booked their spot earlier today. Who will it be against them, WA or SA? Thank you very much for your help today, Tony. Great to have you here.
Welcome, Timmy. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk.
And thank you, of course, to Lippy for stepping in earlier, and Scotty Gill, our producers, and, of course, to all our wonderful friends here at TAFE for helping us bring this excellent production. So that's it from us here today down at Florian Oval. Thanks for tuning in. You've been watching the Australian Lacrosse Network.